Yo, 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 yo. Let me turn on the Twitter too as well. Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, man? Today is the first day of February. Happy Black History Month to all my people who celebrating. It's a beautiful month, man. We are going to run things up this month. Last month was a little stressful to say the least. We still finished slightly profitable in the month and didn't have the greatest day yesterday either. I gave out 3 plays on the show. I went 1 and 2 on those plays. The Denver Nuggets, like we talked about, even though they almost still end up covering, they end up losing the game outright. Did cover the late line, but didn't cover the +1.5 that I gave out right before Jokic got rolled out. And then we also got a winner with the Chicago Bulls -4. You got the late line that cash as well. And then we also lost on the Washington Wizards. The third quarter, Washington Wizards did not come to play yesterday. And you see the Clippers go in there and really smack them up. They almost got a backdoor cover. Won the fourth quarter, I think it was like 40-19, but not a lot of defense being played. We also had Paul George out, Jordan Poole being the late scratch, but it is what it is, man. We're going lighter units. We're not, going too crazy. I talked about this, and I'll, keep reiterating it. It's just that we, as the All-Star game approaches, these players are looking forward to vacation. I've been saying it the last couple of days, so you can't expect them to be super locked in, and one of the reasons I got to start looking a little bit more at some unders because they're ready for a break, man, as they should be. So, as always, I ask you guys to hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't already, definitely turn the notification bell on so that you guys do know when I go live, especially if you enjoy the content. Last night I did a early bird show, kind of trying to get to some of these lines a little early, man. It's a lot of you either first or you last, depending on, it really just depends on the injury report. Like, you can cap the games, get the early line, and it absolutely mean nothing. Hopefully, we cap the games, we got the injury line, and we are on the right side. So I did give out a couple plays. Gave out 1 play on the show last night. Gave out another play to the members yesterday, and that's all I'm gonna play today. I knew I wasn't gonna go too heavy on a 4-game card. Probably a lot of looks that I'm just not seeing, but just two plays that I'm gonna play. I'm pretty sure, like 99.9% sure, I won't add any plays. So let's jump into it for today, man. Let's jump into it for today. We got let's see. Let me just change this line because real quick before we get started, the Grizzlies are 8-point favorites on the road now, and that total has come down to 215. I just want to update some things, and then we got Utah and Philly. This line is 4.5 in favor of the Jazz, and we have total all the way up to 239. So, all right, let's jump into it for today. So, first game up, we'll go Pacers and Knicks, and this is a game that's really just kind of scary to me. I talked about this one last night on the late night show, and I think it's highly dependent upon. And shout out to everybody in the chat as well. Appreciate everybody for tuning in as always. I'll get to the chat in a second, but looking at this game, just from the perspective of trying to place a bet on it, you got let's get to my notes real quick. You got a Knicks team that, and let's just update the injury report just to make sure. I don't feel like I haven't really missed anything, but I want to make sure. So Indiana, Halliburton looks like he is going to play, but Ben Mathurin still game time decision as he was yesterday. Same thing with TJ McConnell, and then also same thing with Jalen Smith. And to me, I think those injuries are key in this game. Now, Indiana's going to run fast pace, whether Halliburton plays, whether he doesn't play, whether Ben Mathurin and TJ McConnell play or not. But on the opposite side, the same injuries that we had from last night are the ones that we see today. I mean, OG Anunoby, still a toss-up to play. Quentin Grimes, still a toss-up to play. I'm not sure if these guys are going to play. Of course, they'll be missing Julius Randle still. I think those guys contribute to the total. You see the total in this game come down. It opened at 241 last night is what the line was. And it's all the way down to 236.5. I wasn't sure if the Knicks were just going to score a lot of points or they were going to play defense and slow the pace down. It kind of makes sense that they would, slow the pace down. But I was just on an under in the Indiana Pacers game against the Boston Celtics, and Indiana played no defense, just flew up and down the floor, couldn't get a stop. We see Boston score 80 points in the first half. And not to say that the Knicks offense is as potent as that offense, but I mean, with the way Indiana plays, it kind of, almost results in the opposing team to go over their team total. So looking at this Pacers team, they are 4-1 straight up, 3-2-1 against the spread in their last 5. Situationally, this is their second straight road game in the first leg of a back-to-back. They actually host the Sacramento Kings tomorrow. Indiana is 6-5 straight up, 7-4 against the spread. 7-4 against the spread as road dogs in conference play this season. They're also 8-3 to the over in that spot. And they're also 7-2 on the front leg of a back-to-back, 8-1 against the spread, 7-1-1 to the over. So all the trends for Indiana kind of say that, they can potentially win this game. They could cover this game and that the game goes over. Looking at the Knicks, however, we know that not to be so true because this is the total opposite. And this is where I don't really want to have a play and I just kind of want to watch the game. The Knicks are the hottest team in the NBA right now. They're 14-2 straight up, 13-3 against the spread this month, 14-2 to the under. They've held 12 opponents under their team total this month, and they're plus 11.9 in spread differential over the last 2 weeks. Of course, you want OG Anunoby in there because that Utah team that they beat up on the other day and that Charlotte team that they beat up on the night before aren't necessarily the same as this team that they're playing against today. Indiana has a much better offense, of course. Indiana plays at a much faster pace. And, the Charlotte team didn't have LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier. And then, of course, Utah was on the sixth and final game of a road trip as well. So, a little different spot here. Indiana did beat New York earlier this season as well. They beat them 140-126. They were laying 4 points in that spot. You see the line come down. This line was at 4 last night. It's down to 2.5 at some books right now. I do think the Knicks are a better team, but if I'm playing a game, I definitely need OG Anunoby to be in there. I didn't cap this from a player prop perspective, but I talked about this last night. We know that Wally Zerbiak, who does radio for for the New York Knicks, he did call Tyrese Halliburton a wannabe all-star. And every time Halliburton has played up against him, against the Knicks, he kind of reminds Wally Zerbiak of those comments that he made last season. So I couldn't talk anybody off Halliburton. I expect the Knicks to, try to control the paint, but Indiana plays at such a fast pace. They're going to really, it's going to be difficult. Let's just say it's going to be difficult. Pacers, Knicks are just playing so well right now. It's hard to fade them, man. But this Pacers team has been covering and playing pretty hard as well. Pretty sure they would like nothing more than to go into the Garden and, steal one today. So I don't have a play on the game at all. The total is conflicting to me. The spread is conflicting to me. I think, I'm not even going to try to give you guys advice on this one. I'll just go to the chat real quick, see what you guys are on, and then we'll keep moving to the next game. So let me see what you guys are on. Let's go to the chat. What's up, Young Harlow? He says, everyone drop a like, subscribe, tune in to my guy. Appreciate you, Young Harlow. What's up, Kenneth? He says, yo, 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 yo. What up, Takari? Raptors fan says, what's good, Chris? Woke up pissed off after the book smacked me up yesterday, looking for some get back. Absolutely, man. That's what it's always about, getting that get back, Raptors fan. And it don't necessarily got to be the next day, man. The longer you sports gamble, the more you'll understand that, you just got to find the right spot, no matter if it's, 2 days from now, 5 days from now, tomorrow, whatever the case might be. So definitely hope you can get your leg back, right? But you've been hot, though. You've been pretty hot. David says, hit the like button, y'all. Thanks for the SDQL for the Mavs team total under. Cash that bad boy. Yeah, I think they scored like 40 points in the second half yesterday. David, you was in a good spot there yesterday. What's up, Peter, Jermaine? Kenneth throwing out some NCAA basketball. He likes Morehouse State and Tennessee State under 138.5. Chad says hardest to cap before the break and last week of the regular season. I would agree, Chad. You sound like a veteran sports bettor. Adrian says if Anunoby gets ruled out, DiVincenzo to the moon. Him and Josh Hart will have to step up big time. Maybe Precious Ochoa, rebounds. Yeah, I could see all of that. Brian says, what's up, Chris? I want to take Grizzlies +8. I'm hesitating. They play the Warriors tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get to that game in a second. Jermaine says 22 minutes for Hali. Is he on a minutes restriction? I didn't see that, Jermaine. Estai says, what's up, my guy? What's up, Estai? Appreciate you for being here. Yesterday, Logo Magikarp went. He says he cashed De'Aaron Fox over his 2 steals. I remember you shouting that out. And PJ watched it over 2.5 3-pointers made. Good hits yesterday, Logo. What's up? Call me Aries. What else y'all liking in this game? Can't play anything for Holly with that minutes limit. What Shadow says. Trayvon asking about Halliburton triple double. What's up, Tasha? Appreciate you for being here. I think he is on the minutes limit. Raptors fan says Pacers are 6-4 to the under, and the Knicks are 9-4 to the under. Total sitting at 236. Something doesn't seem right. Am I off? So the reason why I didn't attack the total in this one, Raptors fans, because even though the Pacers have been playing so good defensively, I talked about liking the game against Boston to go under, especially with them being limited. No TJ McConnell in that last game. No Ben Mathurin. And that's big, right? Ben Mathurin's like, their best bench player, as far as being able to score. It didn't matter. They still went over their team total, which I had a half unit on that. And then, couldn't stop the Boston Celtics from scoring at all. So it was 80 points in the first half, 2 40-point quarters, first quarter and second quarter. That's what kind of talked me off the over. Because the one thing I watched Boston in that game, man, I know the Knicks were, I know that the Boston Celtics were hitting all their shots, but the Pacers don't look like they want to play defense. That's why I can't take an under with the Pacers. I know it's it had been profitable. I lost on the Pacers under in Philly as well in that game. They just play so fast. It's so difficult to take under. And I know the Knicks are 14-2 to the under. 12, the last 14 opponents have gone under the team total. But I'm staying off of this one. Maybe something live, but I can't play it before the game starts. We'll get to this Laker look from JC in a second. Vaughn says, I see why you like the spread and totals more than player props. The props been killing me. They kill me too, Vaughn. They've been killing me too. That's why I kind of, took a back seat. I do want to start like getting a couple more player props, spots in, but I don't have time to really cap the games as, with the player props as well. So we'll see. What else y'all got in here? Colin says, yeah, Holly commented and said he would be on a minutes limit. Tasha says she'd like the Pacers on the money line. What's up to my guy Justin for pulling up? Lamar says he likes Brunson assists. Pacers play no defense. So I'll be honest with you guys. If I'm looking at a player prop, I didn't play any player props, but if I'm looking at a player prop, what if 1 + 1 = 2, right? Then Jalen Brunson points. I'm not even sure what the line is. You get a Pacers team that's going to get up and down the floor. They have nobody that can guard him. That can guard Brunson. Brunson scores majority of his points. I'm not sure what the percentage is, but he scores majority of his points either at the free throw line or in the painted area. We know he gets down there. He has some of the best footwork that we've seen in the league. He can pivot off either foot, turn, shoot the fadeaway off either foot. It makes sense to take Brunson points over. They also don't have a back-to-back. So with no Julius Randle, I can see his volume going up. And that's the way I'd be looking. Now, granted, I say all that, and I'm pretty sure somebody, probably another capper probably got Jalen Brunson points, and they probably capped it the same way I did and got better explanation and all that good stuff. But that don't mean it's going to hit. So, fast-paced game at home, Pacers giving up the most points in the paint. I would only be able to look at Brunson over his points. I know you say assists, Lamar, and I couldn't talk you off that look either. The Knicks are definitely going to get a few more possessions in this game. But Lamar likes his assist over 7.5 in this spot. Let's see. David says, until Hallie tells you himself, avoid. He is playing through injury to still stay all-star eligible. And that is, I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head there, David. He says he can only miss like 5 or 6 more games to remain eligible. And I'm not sure who did that. How about Brunson 10 assists and Josh Hart 10 boards? Might be worth a sprinkle, Trey. Might be worth a sprinkle, man. I hope you cash it if you play it. Let's see. David says Obi points and rebounds. He likes Brunson points, Pascal Siakam points and rebounds, Julius Randle rebounds and assists. He says he likes it all. A lot of looks there. Best of luck if you take all that. Go Young DJ says Josh Hart double-double and triple-double again. In a fast-paced game like this, with the needed rebounding, go Young DJ. I could not talk you off. I'm interested to see if my man Flo is available to talk about this game when we get done. Keith says, when was the last time the Knicks won 9 straight? Man, who knows? Back Latrell Sprewell, John Starks. I'm not sure, man. This Knicks team is balling right now, though. Thibodeau probably sleeping so good at night right now, man. He don't know what to do with himself. And Vaughn says he likes Josh Hart's points here. The way he attacks the baskets and the Pacers give up the points inside the paint. Could not talk you off of that, Vaughn. Josh Hart's definitely going to get us some increased usage. Let's keep going. We're going to spend too much time on that one game. All right, let's go to the next game. So we got Lakers and we have Celtics. And I talked about staying off of this game last night. Another game I stayed off of. The notes don't really matter now, of course. Well, I mean, some of them do matter, but they don't matter for the most part. We talked about this game yesterday. I told you guys when I talked about this game last night. The first thing I mentioned was, how I don't necessarily want to lay 11 points when the spread was 11. It's up to 15. For people who don't know, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are both ruled out of this game tonight. Luke Cornett on the other side is listed as questionable, and Al Horford looks like he is going to return after missing the game against the Indiana Pacers on the second leg of that back-to-back the other day. I think it was it in Indiana? Yeah, it was Indiana. So, the Lakers are not good on the road, first and foremost. Just 7-17, straight up, 9-15 against the spread. As a road dog of 4.5 points or more, they're actually 0-7 straight up, 1-6 against the spread. So they haven't covered any of these big numbers. The only cover they had was a game that LeBron didn't play in, but Anthony Davis did play in. Situationally for the Lakers, they're not in the greatest spot. This is the fourth straight game of a 6-game road trip. It gets no easier because they actually got the Knicks on deck on Saturday. It's also a third game in 4 nights. They failed to cover the last 2 games against Atlanta and Houston after beating Golden State in overtime on Saturday. For Boston, we know this team is really, really hot. And it really, like I said, it doesn't matter. I can tell you guys they're 22-2 at home, 13-11 against the spread. They haven't been covering, though. They are just 3-7, I think, in their last 10 games against the spread at home. And that's because you keep getting these really, really big lines. Even though they jumped out on Indiana the other day, and like I said, scored 80 points. They were winning the game by like 22, 23 points. They still end up not covering that game. They only won the game, I think, by 4 or 5. I think it was like 129-124 or something like that. So I the way basketball works these days, man, is you can't lay these big numbers. In my opinion, 15, what the spread is right now, I could not lay that with Boston. Now, should they win? Absolutely. Should the Lakers really struggle to, kind of score the ball and rebound the basketball? I think so. But one thing I'll mention real quick, outside of Boston not being motivated, because if you're Boston, you can't wait to get to the All-Star break. You've been playing hard every single game. Now you get the news that LeBron James and Anthony Davis not playing. You're probably not going to give your best effort in this game. So the other thing I wanted to mention that kind of correlates with that is, if anybody got a chance to watch the post-game interview, Bron kind of was like he bit his tongue, but he was ready to go off on his teammates, for not doing their job right. So I think it was like a message, right? I think he probably, is intentionally missing this game just so that, they can kind of figure it out themselves. And they probably had some kind of little, meeting between LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Coach Darvin Ham to say, you know what, let's let them, kind of figure it out. Let's see if they can go beat the Memphis Grizzlies and cover games with, some bench players and, not their best players. I'm not sure what's going to happen. What I will tell you guys from an analytical perspective is that across, let's see, it's been 352 possessions so far this season. Without LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the floor for the Lakers, they are a minus 13.4 point differential, which is pretty close to the spread. They're only averaging 108.5 points per possession, which ranks in the bottom 8th percentile, which is not good at all. And they turn the ball over at a really high rate, 18.5% turnover percentage. They get no offensive rebounds. They rank in the bottom, like I'm talking about like the bottom 1 percentile in both offensive rebound, and turnover percentage. Defensively, they also struggle. They rank in the 14th percentile. They give up 122 points per 100 possessions. Opponents are shooting 58.7% effective field goal percentage. They force no turnovers. They allow their opponents to get offensive rebounds at a 28.7% rate. And they don't foul a lot. I will say that. So that's per cleaning the glass. Y'all take that information and do what y'all want. If I had to play the game, I think the play that I'm looking at and that I would be playing is probably the Lakers team total to go under. I do think that even though the Lakers will try to play fast, I think Boston can kind of dictate pace in this game. And I do think that the Lakers can struggle to score the ball because you're not going to get a whole bunch of fast break opportunities. LeBron and Anthony Davis account for so much of this offense that I think they're just going to struggle. Outside of D'Angelo Russell, outside of Austin Reeves, outside of Rui Hachimura, I think the Lakers going to struggle, man. I think the team total was 12.5. Let's see what it is real quick. But if I had to play in the game, I think that's the way I would look. I do think the Lakers struggle to score in this game. And I think Boston dictates pace. And I'm not even sure if they try to go out there and play, like super fast. I think they probably slow it down. Lakers probably try to play with some pride. 112.5 minus 115 over on Bet365 right now is the best number that you can get. That's what I'd be looking at. That requires the Lakers to score, 56, 57 points per half. I think they could struggle to get there. So I didn't cap the game from a player prop perspective. Of course, you got, some opportunities for guys like Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves. Who am I missing? D'Angelo Russell, of course. But that's the way I'd be looking, man. That's the way I'd be looking. I think if I had one free play, I'd be taking the team total under. I didn't play the game. I will be watching, but I'm not playing this game, man. The total is, and it doesn't really matter anymore now, just because Anthony Davis and LeBron are ruled out. But the total is 12-3 to the over. The Lakers are 12-3 to the over as road dogs this season, including 4 straight, 10 of their last 11. Lakers also 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games overall, whether they're at home or on the road. The Celtics 10 and when they're in 10 home games as double-digit favorites this season, they are 7-3 to the over as well. So I guess all of that is still active, but no play for me in this game. I'm not really interested in a 15-point spread for this game. So let me know what you guys are thinking here. And then we'll get to the next game. Let's go back to the comment section really quickly. Let's see. DJ Prop says, I took the under on Brunson 32.5 points. I think the usage will be more spread out. If OG Anunoby does play, OG will go for 20 points. So he likes OG to go over, Jalen Brunson to go under. I didn't know Jalen Brunson points was that high. 32.5 is kind of crazy. Keith says, there's a historic day in the NBA with Bernard King, 50 points, back-to-back games. And we have the 300th Laker versus Boston Celtics game tonight at the Garden, at TD Garden. Livestone says, Knicks won 9 straight before last. Sun snapped the streak on April the 26th. Shout out to you for going back and finding that, man. Appreciate you for doing that. Dre says, Dre makes sure says, Drew is my look in this one as far as props. What do you like, Dre? Let us know what you like. You like his points, his rebounds? What are you liking? Go Young DJ says he's taking Celtics alt line minus 19.5. You think they win the game by 20? Tasha on the opposite side, she says too many points here. Breezy420 says Celtics by brutality. Man, that's terrible. Kenneth says, does Boston take the game serious? We will never know. We'll never know, Kenneth. We won't know until the game starts. And that's unfortunate. Tariq says, what's up, Chris? No need for a 2-hour show. The Lakers game going over. I hope so. We'll see how it goes. I didn't bet the over. I didn't bet the under either. I honestly don't care. Let's see. Shadow says he was thinking Porzingis over his 6.5 first quarter points. He likes the entire he plays like the entire first quarter, and he always starts the game firing off shots. Also, no AD helps. I think it's a good look. I couldn't talk you off of this. The Lakers have no center outside of Anthony Davis. Christian Wood is more like a power forward. He just plays center. He plays no defense, though. He can't guard anybody, so I couldn't talk you off that. Chad likes the first half. I couldn't talk you off Boston first half. Makes a lot of sense. They are the best first half team in the league. He says they can sleepwalk to a double-digit win in this spot, and I would agree with that. What up, Fremons? He says, my book tripping. It still has the Celtics at 10.5. Woo-wee. Raptors fan says he likes Tatum over his 13.5 rebounds and assists. He says he covered in 3 of his last 5 games overall and against the Lakers. Okay. Yeah, JS, I'm with you on this one. JS says this slate is screaming all live bets for me. I think that's the way I like it too. Lamar says Derek White game incoming. It could be a big Derek White game. Lakers have not defended the 3-point line well at all. Defense has been pretty bad. They couldn't stop Atlanta. Good luck trying to stop Boston tonight. Val says, I love Boston. Not a fan, but fans are pissed. They might sleep on the Lakers at home. They might. I live in Boston. Okay, he says he lives in Boston. Not a fan, but fans are pissed. They might sleep on the Lakers at home. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. Let's keep going to the next game. We did Pacers already. So I do have a game. I do have a play in these last 2 games, but the lines have moved. Hopefully you guys watched the live show that I did last night. So Cavs and Grizzlies, this line actually opened at 5 last night. And this is the one that I didn't send out. It's up to 8 now. You got a Cavs team coming off the second leg of a back-to-back. Of course, they won last night, and they did have to play all the way down to the wire. I talked about this last night, but they barely squeaked out that win. They got a couple stops in a row, and you see Memphis kind of turn the. I'm not Memphis. You see Detroit kind of turn the ball over late to secure the win. Now you got the Cavs on the second leg of a back-to-back having to travel from Cleveland to Memphis, and it doesn't look like Darius Garland has been ruled out, although Evan Mobley has been ruled out. It's just this would have been his third game back, and Darius Garland did play about 20 minutes, but the Cavs didn't play heavy minutes last night for their starters. This Cavs team is also pretty deep. I think that's important to mention. When you got Dean Wade and Jared Allen, Max Strus playing the way that they're playing, Donovan Mitchell's looking like almost like he could be mentioned in the All-Star. I mean, not All-Star, but like the MVP conversation, the way he's been kind of leading the Cavs to this 29-16 record. On the opposite side for Memphis, this team is we know they're not good, but they have been covering. They are covering machines. However, they do struggle at home they do struggle a little bit more at home than they do on the road. They're 5-16 at home on the season, just 7-14 against the spread. They've been one of the more least profitable teams at home on the season. However, they are 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games. I think so. When I looked at this line last night, the first thing that kind of jumped out to me was, all right, I know Cleveland is on the second leg of a back-to-back. I know they might not be extremely motivated for this game, playing against a Memphis team that is really depleted. The Memphis Grizzlies will be without everybody that they typically are without. But you also got Santi Aldama added to the injury report now. He's listed as questionable. John Conchar. I mean, these were, the bench guys. He's a toss-up to play. Luke Kennard, also very unlikely to play. Derrick Rose, Desmond Bane, these guys are not playing in this game. Already, unlikely to play or not going to play in this game. Same thing with Zaire Williams and Brandon Clark. Like, they are at a point now where, like, most of these players have, they've signed. So you still have Xavier Tillman. You still got Jared Jackson Jr., Vince Williams Jr., who's actually been hooping, and Scottie Pippen Jr., who actually just signed with the team just a couple days ago. He's probably going to get big minutes in this game because of that. When I'm looking at this team, man, I just don't see a way that the game could end. And I got the line early. I don't see a way that the game could – I mean, anything's possible. I just don't see a way that Cleveland isn't – even if Memphis, like, plays hard in the very beginning, and let's just say they win, like, the first quarter and they keep it close throughout the first half, I still think Cleveland can pull away in this spot and win the game by multiple possessions. So I'm not handicapping the game as if it's an 8-point spread because I got it when it was at 5. But I do think that they win the game by multiple possessions in this game. If you like Memphis, I do think that you probably want to play them early. And I don't want to talk anybody off Memphis early. Or if you like Memphis, play Memphis. They are covering machines recently. I'm not looking to back them because I do know eventually they will run out of gas. But I think if you like Memphis, you want to play them early. It might be worth playing them early. They are 8-2 ATS in the first half over the last 10 games. And over the last 5 games, this team has actually covered every first half spread. They're 5-0 against the spread in their last five games, no matter home or on the road. One thing I looked at from an SDQR perspective was unrested road favorites, laying between 5 and 9 points, facing a rested opponent. Because I'm like, maybe they don't cover, but they're actually 3-1 straight up and against the spread this season. So that's unrested road favorites laying between 5 to 9 points, facing the opponent that actually does have rest. 3-1 straight up, 3-1 against the spread. So I played the Cavs last night at the -5 number at open. We'll see how it goes. I don't like the Cavs at 8, but it also wouldn't surprise me if they were able to win this game by double digits, even though they are on the second leg of it. They're just a pretty good rebounding team. They do a lot of the things really, really well, and they're also pretty feisty, man. Like, as long as they come in here and play basketball the way that they are capable of playing basketball, if they do that, I think they can win this game by margin. But I wouldn't take the spread at 8. I'll say that. Another game, going back to what J.S. Brown said in the chat, I probably just live bet. I think this is one where you could definitely live bet. Let's see what you guys are seeing here, and then we'll get to the last game. Let's see. Call me Aries, going back to the last games. He says he likes under on Jason Tatum points, rebounds, and assists probably. He says, I think this is going to be a blowout beyond 15 to 20 points, and it's going to be a lot of sitting. So I can see that. Justin says he got the Grizzlies first half. Shout out Chad C. And he got him full game. So Justin on the opposite side. Well, I guess it's a way for both of us to win, depending on what number you got, Justin. If you got +8 and they win by 6, then I win and you win. It's a nice little margin there. First half I couldn't talk you off of. Grizzlies are on the first leg of a back-to-back. They do got the Golden State Warriors on deck tomorrow, just FYI. It should be a Grizzlies fade spot. Again, should be a big line in favor of the Warriors. 2 days of rest compared to none. I already handicapped the games for tomorrow as well, except the last one. So I'm waiting for that line to come out, but that probably won't come out till later tonight after this game goes off. NLMB says Grizzlies been taking everyone's money, and I absolutely agree. They got me. They got me against the Orlando Magic last week, and I don't necessarily want to fade them unless I'm getting the line early, just because they're playing so hard. They're playing for contracts. Guys like G.G. Jackson off the bench are coming in here really filling it up. Vince Williams Jr. PRA continues to cash. So I just think that it's eventually going to run out. And some of those teams that they've been able to do that against, I don't think they're necessarily as good defensively as this Memphis team. And granted, I say that as this Cleveland team. And I say that even though Cleveland, gave up a bunch of points against Detroit. Detroit's offense has actually looked a lot better recently. I was looking at the numbers. They actually averaged 6 more points per game in the month of January than they did in December. So that's why Detroit's been able to kind of cover, some spreads. Cleveland has been winning games because their defense has been so good. And if we're in a defensive shootout, I think Cleveland plays defense as well. They don't really go away from their principles too much. Out of the last 10 games, I think the team to go over their team total against the Memphis Grizzlies, against the Cleveland Cavaliers, were the Milwaukee Bucks. And that was as soon as they, fired, their head coach. So those are my thoughts there. Shadow says, Jared Allen double-double and Mitchell 6 assists to double my money. Who sells it? No comment, Shadow. I will have to look a little bit more in there. I don't want to just tell you anything. Colin says he likes Allen over 2.5 first quarter rebounds and the Cavs money line at -130 on FanDuel, +138 with 3 first quarter points too. And he says the last 18 of 20 is the hit rate for that. He says Memphis gives up massive games to centers the last month. That's a fact. Sabonis did just have a 21 and 26 game. Isaiah Hartenstein had 20 rebounds. Nurkic had 19 rebounds, and Bam had 15. This makes a lot of sense, Colin. Jared Allen rebounds. I could not talk you off. He says 3 first quarter points. He's hit 16 of the last 20. Could not talk you off. Colin says Cavs should force a lot of missed shots, and the younger team will versus this younger team with how well they have been defended. I agree with that. I think their defense, whenever you're backing the team on the second leg of a back-to-back, you want to make sure they can play defense. Daniel says Jared Allen has played in 4 back-to-back games, hasn't eclipsed 7 rebounds, but Memphis bleeds rebounds to the center. I agree. Oh, me too says Cavs team total over. I'll tell you one reason why I don't like the Cavs team total over. Oh, me too, because when I looked at their offensive rating on no rest, it actually wasn't great at all. Like this to me is more of a phase spot, and thinking that this Memphis team is going to struggle. So I like Memphis team total. Of course, if I was going to play it now, I would want to get the early line, but I like Memphis team total under more than I like the Cavs team total over. I don't think that the Cavs should have to score a lot of points in this game. I think they could be the team that actually limits the Memphis Grizzlies, if that makes sense. So real quick, I'll tell you what I looked at just so you'll know. So looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers this season, when they're playing on 0 days rest, the Cavs offensive rating is actually the 4th worst in the league. Their offensive rating is just 108.3. Only teams that have a worse offensive rating playing on the second leg of a back-to-back are the Washington Wizards, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Miami Heat. So the Cavs have not done a good job of scoring the ball. Their defensive rating is not as bad. Well, actually, it's not that great either. But and they're only 2-4 in this spot. But some of those games came when they were playing against some really good opponents. So I think with the pace that Memphis plays at, the pace that the Cleveland Cavaliers play at, I would play the team total under for the Memphis Grizzlies. But I wouldn't play it now. I would want the best number, even though they could still go under the number now. But I think this is the defensive game. You see the total drop. I think it's dropped 4 points. Christian says, give a like for my boy Chris. I appreciate that, Christian. Definitely hit the like button for me if you guys enjoy the breakdowns and the content. Jared says he's on Levert in this game. Not sure why, but he absolutely goes off versus Memphis. He had 23, 43, 34, 28, 27 in his last 5 games versus Memphis. Damn, I did not know that. Cavs on the back-to-back. He likes Levert over 12.5. This might be a play, Jared. I like this a lot, man. Shadow says Allen has like 16 double-doubles in a row. Justin says Grizzlies against the spread and DiVincenzo over his points. Been automatic. He likes those. Jake, I don't like Cavs in the first half. I don't know if you got here late, but I said that, this Memphis team is 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 first halves. They're 5-0 against the spread in their last 5. So, I mean, you can go buck the trend if you want to. I'm not bucking it because when Memphis comes out and they play hard, it's typically in the first half and then they run out of gas. I watched this happen against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I watched it happen against the Sacramento Kings. So, yeah. Almost like the San Antonio Spurs, where they just kind of play so hard that eventually you run out of gas because you can't play that hard for the full game. Let's see. Raptors fan says he likes Darius Garland in this spot for some reason. Primarily his threes at 1.5. He went over the line 5 of his last 6 against the Memphis Grizzlies. Okay. Justin says was good. Didn't get much chance to cap the games, but he likes the look I put out in for tomorrow. Oh yeah, I did give out a look for tomorrow already. Right before the show started. The line was already moving. I got it. I was trying to get a 2.5. And we'll talk about that. I might do a night show tonight. Willis says no dogs tonight. And Jermaine says Memphis third in giving up rebounds to the center, but Memphis last 3 games defense has been good. Yeah, and that's the point. They're top 5 defensive rated team, Jermaine, as well. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily look towards the Cleveland Cavaliers to go over their team total in this spot. I could be totally wrong. But based on pace, based on last 5 game stats, based on Memphis just playing like some dogs, I couldn't get there with Cleveland team total to go over. Vaughn says was leaning Cavs, but checked SDQL with them on 0 days rest, so he stayed away. Potential live spot here for them. I gave out Cavs. Like I said, I gave out Cavs -5 last night. So hopefully, if you wanted it, you got the best of the line. Last game up. Let's go to Utah. The Jazz are now laying 4.5 points, 4.5 point home favorites. Total shot all the way up from 233 all the way up to 239.5. Injury report. It looks like Maxey is still a toss up to play, and this total is going all the way up. So maybe Maxey is going to play. And you got Nicholas Batum also toss up to play. Robert Covington out. Joel Embiid was announced yesterday is out. DeAnthony Milton still out. And you got Marcus Morris, who's very unlikely to play as well. So on the opposite side, Utah is completely healthy. It was one of the reasons why I like Utah in this spot. Situationally, not the greatest spot for either team. Philly, they're just 5-2 in their last over the last 2 weeks. They ranked 12 offensively. Their defense has fallen off a cliff. They're 26 defensively. We remember, Philly 2 weeks ago at home, covering spreads, winning by double digits. You just take them at home. And they got on this road trip and been getting smoked. They lost to the Pacers. Then they went to Denver and lost. Then they lost to the Portland Trail Blazers. It's all bad right now in Philly. On the Utah side, they've not been looking great either. They're 15-6, however, at the crib, 16-5 against the spread. This is one of the best ATS teams at home. However, just 3-5 in their last 8 games. A lot of those games we know came on that 6-game road trip that they had out east. They got smoked at the end of that road trip. They took care of the cupcakes. They beat the Charlotte Hornets. They beat the Washington Wizards, but they've really been struggling. And specifically on the defensive end, they're the 8th best offensive rated teams over the last 8 games. But defensively, they're the 2nd worst defense, 29th defensively. So one thing I looked at in this game was the impact of Joel Embiid. The Philadelphia 76ers are a plus 8.7 in point differential with Embiid on the floor. Without him, it drops to 3.5. So that's about 5-point swing that Joel Embiid, that based on this number, and this is across, I don't know how many possessions, I forgot to write it down, but this is across, a couple hundred possessions, I'm sure. Embiid means about 5 points. They also rank in the bottom 5 percentile in offensive rebounding and rebounding in general as well. And they don't take nearly as many free throws in that spot. If you know anything about the Utah Jazz, they're a really good rebounding team with Walker Kessler, Kelly Olynyk, Lauri Markkanen. They got some guys that can go down there and rebound the basketball. The other thing to make mention of is Philly. They do a really, really bad job of giving up points off fast break. They give up a lot of fast break points. They don't get back for whatever reason. I'm not sure what it is. And situationally, it's not the greatest spot for them because, like I said, this is the 5th and final road game of a West Coast road trip for them. They've lost 4 in a row, and they only covered as the 8.5-point dogs when they were playing in Denver on Saturday. This is also 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights, all on the road. Not a spot you necessarily want to back a team in. Then you look at the Jazz. Not the greatest spot for them either. First game back home off a 6-game road trip. They went 2-4 in that road trip, and they lost the final 2 games by margin. They got smoked by the Nets. They got smoked by the Knicks as well. They do have 1 day of rest after this game before they host the Bucks on Monday, whereas Philly has actually – they got a game on Sunday. You got to get back because they got a game against Brooklyn. So head-to-head wise, I don't know if people remember this, but the Knicks smoked the Philadelphia 76ers after the OG Anunoby trade, one of the first few games that happened after that. And then the Philadelphia 76ers had a game the next day. Joel Embiid decided to rest that game, and they played against the Utah Jazz in Philly, and Philly smoked them in that game. I'm sorry, Utah smoked them in that game, 130-109. They were 6.5-point dogs in that game. So this is a revenge spot for Philly. They probably don't want to go 0-5 on the road trip, but Utah also got a bad taste in their mouth as well, especially with the way they've been losing games. So this one was, pretty simple for me. The one thing that, made me a little bit reluctant is Utah's ability to, not be able to get stops. But I don't look at this Philly team and say, man, like they got so much firepower. Like I'm not sure how Utah is going to stop them, right? So when this line popped at 4 last night, I gave it out at 3.5. 3.5 was available on BetMGM. That was the play that I gave out, on the stream last night for the late night shows. My best bet. And what I'll tell you guys is this: teams don't typically play that well in the first game back home off a long road trip. We typically think that's a flat spot, and it is. But the Jazz are actually 2-0 straight up and against the spread off a road trip of 4 games or more this season. So they've already done this twice. I looked at road dogs who are playing on their 5th and final road game of a road trip. Those teams are just 28 points. They win just 28.7% of the time. So that 71.3% says that, Utah wins the game. If you got the 3.5, you literally just need them to win by multiple possessions, by 2 possessions. And they should be able to do that. We're asking Utah to win by 2 possessions with a full squad versus a Philly team they probably just can't wait to get back home, although they both teams will be motivated in this spot. I don't think it'll be an easy win. By no means am I saying like, oh, go lay to 4.5 with with Maxey. As this number starts to pop to 5, I'm not sure if Maxey got ruled out or did we get some news? I don't see anything. But the number is moving to 5. We got Paul George not on the injury report for tomorrow against Detroit. Quentin Grimes just got ruled out. Herb Jones listed as questionable. Jamal Murray probable. Draymond going to play tomorrow. Jordan Poole questionable. Zion questionable versus the Spurs. Jokic questionable. Luke Cornett got ruled out. Keldon Johnson. Okay, I didn't see anything. Just make sure I wasn't tripping. Okay. But the line is moving to 5 right now. So if you wanted the 3.5, you should have got that last night. Like I said, Utah is a scary team to lay points with, but like I said, they do cover numbers at the crib, man. So, I took Utah minus 3.5 last night, minus 115 over on BetMGM. That is my favorite play today. And then Cleveland Cavaliers minus the 5 that I gave out last night, my second favorite play today. So let me know what you guys are thinking here. What am I on the right side? Am I on the wrong side? Do you guys agree with the total going up? What are you thinking? I see the line right now is moving to 5 on DraftKings, moving to 5 on BetOnline. Circa got a 5. So maybe some money coming in on Utah in this spot. Maybe people know that Maxey about to get rolled out. I'm not sure. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. And send me a request if you guys got anything over on Twitter as well. Let's see. Real Stoney says, please do a night show. Us third shifters would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this stream goes, Real Stoney. How many likes, how much love people are showing. Because some people pull up, never like your show. They've been watching for 3 years. Not going to hit the like button ever. But it's all good. 3 times says he likes 76ers on the money line, so he's going against me tonight. JJ says he leans the over. Breezy says fast big points. Daniel says teams on the last game of a 4-game plus road trip and our dogs are 11-30 on the money line, 16-25 to the under. Add that you play a non-conference opponent, 2-13 on the money line, 4-10-1 against the spread. Big faith on Philly. Will smash Utah live if they start slow. I think this is right, Daniel. I agree with this as well. This we got to remember, man. This is the same spot that the Jazz were in against the Knicks, right? And the money came in on the Jazz, and the Knicks absolutely blew the doors off of them. When you're on that last game of a road trip, you typically just can't wait to get back home. Could be wrong. We'll see how it goes, though. I'm in agreement with you here, though, Daniel. Let's see. Jabari says love the over and Maxey assists if he plays. Jared says literally just had this game a few weeks ago versus these two. Jazz off a couple bad losses, come in and play well against Philly with no Embiid. Yeah. Yep. JS says he took the -5 earlier today. I'm okay with it. Raptors fan says he likes John Collins over his 15.5 points. Says his favorite look. Collins had 19 last game against the Sixers when Paul Reed started, in the last 5 games that Reed started in. 4 of those 5 opposing centers scored 15 or more. Okay. Matt says, Chris, what do you think about Boston Lakers under 239 game total? I like the under, Matt. I like the under. I don't think Boston will, go super hard tonight. I mean, you don't really have to. Like I said, we got to remember the All-Star break coming up. Like, they don't want to beat the Lakers too bad. And I do think the Lakers going to struggle to score. Boston's not a fast-paced team. But with the Lakers, the thing about Boston is all about their three-point shooting, right? We see them catch fire in that last game against Indiana. They scored 80 points in the first half. In the third quarter, what they do? They scored 23 points. They couldn't make a shot. Give up 37 in that quarter. So I do lean towards the under. It's really difficult for me to take totals right now, though, Matthew. And I think I would isolate it. I think I would just look at Lakers team total under. I know Boston team total is probably like 125.5, and that's a lot of points, but it's really just going to depend on the pace that the Lakers try to play at and who dictates pace. Lakers been playing super fast. Boston been playing super slow. So we'll see. Pastor Vaughn says, should I take the Celtics money line? I hope you are joking. Let's see. What's up to my guy, Fred? Jared says he likes Colin Sexton, 19.5. Philly giving up a lot of points in the paint and free throws over the last 2 games. Kuminga had 26. Wiggins had 23. Jeremy Grant had 27. Utah should be motivated, is what he says. I think so as well. And last comment before we get to the YouTube, before we get to Twitter, Daniel says Utah's been in this spot before, playing at home versus Toronto, who were playing their last game of a road trip as a dog. Utah dropped 145 on them. Yeah, I said that. I don't know if people listen to what I'm actually saying when I get a breakdown, but I said this. I said exactly what you just said, Daniel. I said that most teams don't play well coming back home off a long road trip, but the Jazz are actually 2-0 straight up and against the spread off a road trip before games or more this season. So I looked into it. I didn't just play it. I did my due diligence and my homework. Like I said, I took Utah -3.5 here. All right, so just a quick recap. Like I said, the numbers that I took are gone now, but if I had a top play on the board today, it'd probably be Lakers team total under 112.5. That number is currently available on Bet365. I think at -115 is the best number. Pacers Knicks, I'm watching. I'm a spectator. I can't give you guys anything on that one because for one, I need to know if OG is going to play. And then Cavs and Grizzlies, if I had to play anything right now, I probably wouldn't touch that game. I think it's a pretty gross game. So I got Cavs -5 last night, but not anything that I would play. I wouldn't lay the 8 right now. Also wouldn't take the 8 with the Grizzlies because, like I said, I think they can run out of gas. And Jazz and 76ers, like I just said, man, I took the 3.5. The line is moving right now up to 5. We'll see how it goes tonight. I know a lot of people on the Sixers in this spot. We will see how it goes. So let's turn our attention now to and somebody let me know. Drop your best bets in the YouTube comment section as well. If you guys got something that you absolutely love, if you could only make one play, what would it be tonight? Let me know what you guys are taking to the window tonight. And then also somebody let me know how many likes I got because I'll do a night show. I probably won't go through the whole card because it's a lot of games and it would just take too long. I think it's like 9 games tomorrow. And I broke down every single one of them except the Portland and Denver game. So, trying to get ahead of the lines as they start to drop. And I already gave out one play for tomorrow already as well. Let's go to YouTube. Let's get the guys up, man. Let's get Flo up. Let's get Dream up. They probably got all the prop looks for y'all. So let's hear from the fellas. Give me 1 second. All right, let's go. Flo, you with me?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, my brother? How you?
Excellent. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, bro. I cannot complain, man. How we looking at your Pacers and Knicks game tonight, man?
Man, I usually come up with like 3 or 4 props, but like this is such a gross game. A lot of lines are just so inflated. I think this is a great live spot if you're just watching it. So I'm probably just going to do more live. But the one spot I really like is if he plays, hopefully he plays, because Grimes is out. Really like OG Anunoby's ability on the assist. I think there's a lot of upside there. For one, you just have kind of seen that, like, what Thibodeau is. He's like a stubborn guy. Like, now that Grimes is out, even more so. Like, you just know, like, the guys like Jalen and Hard, you know, and Dante, they're going to run like 38 minutes. Like, this win streak definitely means a lot to everyone. So, with that said, OG Anunoby is in a great spot. I like his assists at 1.5. I also went on MGM. I put his 4 assists. Shout out to the homie Stem, because I wanted the assist, but I didn't know how to work it. He really helped me work that through. So, shout out to him. But 4 OG assists and 4 hard rebounds at 6.25 on the same game on MGM, and also 5 and 4 hard rebounds at 14.50. We know that the Pacers give up the second most points to small forwards, most points to power forwards. I really like how last game against Miami, when OG was in there, he was kind of using the 3 to kind of bait defenses in to drive and dump off to Hardenstein, to dump off to Dante, to Hart, and Randall when he was in the lineup. So I really like that. And also his usage is going to be north of like 24%. Like his usage was like spiking up before the injury to Randall, before his injury. Now it's going to be even more if he plays tonight. It just, for one, I'm going to give you a bunch of numbers with common sense. If a guy has a
20% OG out, Flo. I know you probably just got it too.
Oh, fantastic. Well, yep. I don't have anything to say now.
And now some live on the cusp of the news. You know, that's why, you know, one of the benefits of doing the show at this time is that, you know, you get the news. And I saw your boy Fred Cash just tweeted, and the Underdog came right behind him and tweeted it as well. What we doing with the game now, Flo? Like, we take Pacers on the money line? What we doing?
Well, I'm not doing the money line. I don't know. Maybe like I gotta look at it. But the one I was thinking about was Nembhard's assist. If McConnell's out again, because depending where it's at, because he's been getting like a lot of assists. So I don't know. I gotta get back in the lab and check it out. I don't know what I'm gonna do today.
Okay, we're gonna give Flo a minute, man. He gotta get his stuff together. This guy OG not in, man. Reevaluate, regroup. Call it 30-minute timeout. It's halftime. I like it, bro. Okay, appreciate you, bro. Let's go, Dream. Dream, talk to me, man. How you?
Damn, Flo, I feel for you, man.
Me too, bro. Me too.
What's the vibes doing?
What up, Dream? How you, bro? How everything going, man? You all right?
I can't complain, man. Can't complain. So, got a few looks for the night, and one I literally just came across. So, I'll leave with that. I haven't played it. It's just a look. Probably will put some blood money on it. But Rui Hachimura rebounds.
Okay.
His line's at 4.5. I'm assuming Rui's going to get 30-plus minutes tonight. He may get all the minutes he can handle. And as I look at his, he's averaging 3.5 this season. He's got 4 or more in his last 3. So I just feel like that might be a wrong line. So for whatever it's worth. But plays that I did put in, Halliburton, I got a Knicks boost. It's a plus 750 with the boost.
Okay.
And plus 500 without the boost. So Halliburton and Hartenstein, 10 rebounds and 10 assists. So 10 rebounds for Hartenstein, 10 assists for Halliburton, and then 8 rebounds and 5 assists for Josh Hart. I don't know what's up with Josh Hart now that OG got ruled out. So obviously I love that even more. But as far as Hartenstein with Halliburton, like I was telling the people on my stream, man, I had Hartenstein rebounds. I laddered him last game to 12, and he just so happened to cash the whole 12 because I said you can't trust these coaches. They be talking about minutes restrictions and all this shit. And a minutes restriction to especially Tibbs, that could be anything under 38 minutes.
That's a fact.
So I've been reading all this stuff with Halliburton, and without talking too long, he's only playing these games because he's trying to get $41 million. Long story short, if not, he'd be sitting out these games. That's why he only played 22 minutes last game because the threshold is 20 minutes for it to count. So you can't just like Drew Holiday check in the game, foul somebody, and come out. If you want to get like all NBA and all that shit, you gotta play 22 minutes. So I told my people to take the unders on Hallie. that cat, this game, I'm going to overs. I think you can get 10 or 12 assists tonight. We already talked about how the Knicks bleed assists to opposing point guards, so they might trap Halliburton. But what stood out to me was in 22 minutes last game against a pretty good Boston defense, he had 16 shot attempts and 10 assists. So a team that's, again, really good defensively, the Knicks, but they literally bleed assists to point guards. So I think Halliburton can get to 10, even 12 assists. Hartenstein, same thing. He played 29 minutes last game, got 12 rebounds. That's about his norm. If he's going to get 30 minutes, you're going to tell me 10 rebounds? That's a good line for me with Hartenstein. So I like both of those, 10 and 10. And then Josh Hart, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He's done that his last 3 games with Julius Randle and OG out. So that's a plus 500, and I put the boost with it to make a 750. A couple other things I just noticed. I didn't play them, but I just noticed without LeBron, Austin Reeves is going over he's got 4 rebounds every game this season without LeBron, which kind of makes sense. But his line is at 3.5. It's pretty juiced. And I played Dante DiVincenzo to lead the team, lead that game in scoring. I don't know what it is now, but yeah, I gave out a crazy moonshot with him, Max Strus, Jordan Clarkson, and somebody else to lead the game in scoring tonight. So I just think it's a weird card. We can get some weird shit. And with Dante taking a bunch of shots, if it ain't Brunson, I think it could be Dante because Siakam, I wouldn't trust him with my last dollar or my first dollar. Yeah, that's what I'm on.
Okay. Hey, appreciate you, Dream. Appreciate you for sure, bro. So Dream got some looks, man. They make a lot of sense. They make a lot of sense to me. A lot of times we see, the crazy stuff happen, like Dream said, on these little small 4-game slates. Like nobody thought that was gonna happen, and then boom, it happens, right? So could not talk anybody off for just like finding that hidden angle. And that's what Dream do a lot. And most of the time he ended up cashing them. So shout out to Dream. Definitely check him out. Check out his YouTube channel, his YouTube show, Blunt Money Bets, as well. Give my boy a follow, subscribe to the YouTube page. So I'm looking at well, first of all, let me go to Keith real quick, and then I'll let you guys know what I'm looking at. What's up, Keith?
Chris, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Talk to me. How you?
I'm good, bro. This slate is definitely not the greatest to look at, especially when you got 2 stars that are going to be playing.
Right.
I started looking at the Knicks game, but I really mainly have looks from the Celtics game. I know who I'm targeting in terms of threes. I think the Celtics are going to shoot them off the court. But for the Knicks, I kind of just looking at the narrative of one guy leading the team to possibly. I have a long shot with Randall averaging, I think, 24, and for the Knicks to win the division. It was a long shot. I got it on DraftKings. I don't think it's going to happen, but you got one guy leading his team, best record, 3rd record in the East. They just passed Philly. They're going to pass the Bucks. One guy that's not an all-star starter, another one that is, and he's kind of been injured and hobbled. And I know they're just going to make him play at least 32 minutes, 33 minutes. He should be able to go right at him. Again, just a lean, but I just wanted to throw that out there. But my favorite looks from today, I'm going threes from Tatum. I took Tatum at 2.5 threes. I got it at -150. In terms of, I'll share my risk-free SGP because I actually really love this look, and I love the spots that all these guys are in, and I'll explain each pick. Another straight I took was Derek White over at 2.5 threes. He's shooting very well from catch and shoot over the last 2 games. Same reason why I faded the Laker defense against Klay Thompson. Not only did he have to play for a contract, in my opinion, but that was a series that he kind of got taken out of last year. So I'm taking Derek White just because they don't really have the personnel to really fight through screens. It's going to be Reeves. They don't have Lonnie Walker to do that anymore. I think Reeves could have a lot to do today in order for them to even try to attempt to cover the spread. But in this SGP, it is Tatum to hit 4 threes, Derek White over his line 2.5, Al Horford over his line of 1.5. It was at plus money when I was building it and it went down. He's also up there. I think he's shooting a higher percentage into catch and shoot than Derek White. So I love him today. D'Angelo Russell to go for 17 points. Austin Reeves to get 3 rebounds. I think he's going to control the pace in the event that Boston plays down to the competition a little early. And then Roy Hachimura to add in 10 points. He's kind of been a cash cow for me. He's covered that line. I know for a fact he's covered that line in the last 2 times I bet him, and it's a minus 550 to this leg. Total odds on this is 18.43. Again, it's a risk-free. But yeah, and I'm actually very happy that you said the Jazz were 2-0 in that spot coming back home. I didn't even know that. I was looking at Jordan Clarkson's threes I wanted to have. And the minute you said that, I just looked real quick to see what games you were talking about. He was top scorer, I think, in both those games. So I'm running it back. Well, I'm not running it back. I'm running it. And it's always when I narrow in on the idea, the odds just slightly drop. It was 18-1 when I was going to play it. It's now 16-1. I still played it 0.2 unit. But I definitely appreciate that insight because I definitely wasn't going to pull that trigger on the top scorer. I was only going to get his threes. But I was just sharing that look. It's a little lotto.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I mean, people are looking for lottos as well, Keith. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, and one thing, I mean, you guys will never really hear me say I'm taking a player, taking a team on, first game back home. But I think it was against the Dallas Mavericks when they were coming back home off that road trip. And if y'all remember, Luka had that the first time the Dallas played Utah this season. Luka had a triple-double at halftime, and they beat him by like 45. And, Coach Will Hardy went off, and he had some choice words for his team. So I told you, I was like, man, they're going to turn up. And I think they were like 3.5-point dogs in that spot or something like that. And, they turned up on them in that spot, man. It don't matter. So I remembered that one. But then when I, did the SDQL and looked at the Jazz coming back home off the 4-game road trip, I was like, man, this don't really affect them, that much. So, it kind of, made me a little bit more confident in the play. But I'm typically not doing that. I'm not playing on teams first game back home after a 6-game road trip. But Will Hardy said that, they had a chance to get some practice in. They did have 1 day of rest. And like I said, I don't think it's going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think Philly want to go 0-5, but I'll take the home team that's motivated as well. It'd be different if Utah was coming back home off a couple wins in a row. But Utah just got they boots kicked in, the doors kicked in as well. They got blasted in New York. They probably couldn't wait to get out of New York. With how bad they lost to the Knicks and the Nets. So we'll see how it goes, man. It's some interesting games on the slate for tomorrow. And that Pacers team, that the Pacers and Knicks game, the total's coming down. It's all the way down to 234 now without OG Anunoby. You would think that it would go up, but the Knicks were able to hold the Utah Jazz under their team total. And we got to remember, Indiana is on the first leg of a back-to-back, even though they do play well in that spot. I gave you guys the numbers. I think it was like 7-1. Straight up, but this is a different monster. New York is the hottest thing, in the kitchen right now. They firing on all cylinders. So we also see the Cavs. I see an 8.5 popping up there. So some money coming in on Cleveland to win by even more. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I do it. Somebody asked me in the YouTube comment section. They say you agree with the Lakers in Boston coming down, the total coming down. I do, man. I do. Without LeBron, without Anthony Davis, I don't think they're gonna be able to score as easily. I think they're gonna struggle rebounding the basketball. Could turn it over a little bit more. And I think the other thing that, is really hard to kind of quantify is that when you don't have LeBron, when you miss your star player, sometimes you take a little bit more pride in like actually Ben Mathurin just got ruled out as well. So that's even less points. When you missing your star player, sometimes you kind of take a little bit more pride on the defensive end. And I think that could happen for the Lakers. I'm not saying that they're going to come out there and, stop the Celtics, but I do think they'll, play hard. Like they got even more of a reason. They're like, oh, Bron want to call us out? Okay. They don't think they think, it's our fault. Let's go out here and see if we can, prove ourselves. So we'll see how it goes, man. I do want to open up the floor real quick for my guy. What's that? Bronco Drama, I think is how you pronounce that. Broncio Drama. What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
What's going on, Chris, man? Appreciate it. It's pronounced Brock.
Oh, Brock. Okay, my fault.
Yeah,
okay.
That's all good. It's all good. I did like the Rui play with the Rui rebounds. I think since the Celtics shoot a lot of threes, I think that it's gonna be a lot of long rebounds. So I was looking at Rui, and then my other play I sprinkled Josh Hart triple-double just because it's a weird night with a short slate, and I know Tibbs is gonna play him about 40 minutes. So that was 2 looks I had.
Okay. Yeah, I think Dream on to something too. Somebody gonna have to rebound the basketball. No LeBron, no Anthony Davis. Jackson Hayes probably gonna get some run. Christian Wood probably gonna get some run as a big man, and Jared Vanderbilt probably gonna get some run, but I don't like his rebounds as much because he probably gonna be trying to handle Tatum. is what I'm thinking. So maybe Jared Vanderbilt rebounds under. Honestly, I could see that, potentially cashing today. We know that the opposing, big guy, the opposing guy that's going to guard the superstar on the opposite team typically don't get rebounds. So maybe Jared Vanderbilt under his rebounds. All right, cool. We got anything else? I know it's a short slate. Let's go. We got one more request. Let's get Tall Haven up. Let's go back to Flo real quick before you get him up. What up, Flo?
One thing I'll probably take. It's just it's a crazy trend, and like kind of just perfectly said the fact that like Josh Hart, he's gonna play till his knees fall off. He has 10 rebounds and 6 of the last 7 versus the Pacers, and I was just like thinking back. I'm like, man, this reminds me of like the game when they traded for Quickly and RJ, and they literally had no one on the roster. Like Tibbs ran everyone 40 minutes, and they played the Pacers, and it was just like, yeah, Josh Hart 10 rebounds, Dante 6 rebounds. Like they literally had like no plays, and they had like no reserves. So it was just like, all right, we have like 7 players, go play the whole game now. So I'll probably be like get down to Josh Hart rebounds. I'm thinking.
Josh Hart rebounds. It makes a lot of sense. We are talking about one of the worst rebounding teams in the league for sure. Did my man come up? Did he? Nah, he didn't. He must not have got connected. Flo, you got any other thoughts? I know you had a chance to kind of collect yourself for a second. Any more thoughts on this game tonight?
Yeah, no, I just really like the Hart rebounds and Dante's rebounds. It's crazy that I like rebounds. Like I don't like the assists as much. Like I want to get down the triple double again, but I'm like, man, but they just don't give up assists, like because they don't like Carlisle doesn't give up threes. Like till death, you will not let anyone shoot threes. So I don't know. I'm just working on it.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna definitely be watching, man. I'm gonna definitely be watching. For everybody that either watching the live stream over on YouTube for the first time, or you're in the Twitter Spaces for the first time, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I do these shows every single day, 5:00 Eastern time. I'm always live on YouTube and Twitter. And if you turn the notification bell on, you will know when I go live over on YouTube as well. Sometimes it's not Twitter, necessarily included, but yeah, we could potentially do a nice show. It's a bunch of games tomorrow. Like I said, I already kind of dove into them a little bit. So top looks for me. Like I said, the line's already moved, but that's why you do your work early, man. Best of luck to everybody tonight. We'll be back either tonight or we'll be back tomorrow. Giving out some more looks for the Friday card. I'm out.